day 4 of 7 days and 7 ways to own your phone, and we are determined that our phones are going to work for us. We're not going to work for them.
That's right. And we've done some great stuff so far. I'm kind of incrementally going through these steps and reclaiming ownership of our phone. So yesterday we talked about kind of purging our apps, cleaning them out, and rearranging or organizing them on our devices. And today we're going to kind of go to the next step in the app process, which would be to silence as many app notifications as possible.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what you think about this, but in particular, it's the little red buttons that tell you how many notifications, what do they call those, badges?
Badges, I think.
Badges are of the devil. They suck you in. You see them and you're like, okay, I've got to get that cleared.
Yeah. So again, the people in Silicon Valley that are these designers are geniuses, and they are very good at their jobs.
Yes.
And so they know how neurologically we're wired and what kind of things pull us in and are addictive and release those dopamine drops in our brain. And so if we see that red dot, we're inclined to check it out.
Yep.
If we feel the what's it called?
The little buzz. The
buzz, the haptics.
Haptics
is the term for that. Yes, we are clearly not digital natives. We are not. We've got badges and haptics. Like all of these are cues that are designed to interrupt us.
Do you ever have the thing where like your phone's not even in your pocket and yet you're like feeling a haptic?
It's called phantom haptics. Did you know that?
There
is an actual term now of like it's a phantom. What did I feel that? And it's not even there.
Yeah.
Not even there.
Or it was nothing.
Clearly, that is a symptom.
It's a sign.
A sign.
There's a problem.
Our phone is owning us. Right.
Yeah, it's even like affecting our nervous system at that point.
Right.
It's pretty crazy.
So it's amazing that, again, probably a very underused feature on our devices that we just don't take the time to walk through each of our apps and kind of tell it how often we want to be reminded by it, how much, in what ways, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the thing for me that I cut the deepest with on this is those badges. And just because if I go to my phone, I'm going to get distracted by them.
Right.
So that's the one where I have almost none. Yeah. And even like settings had one that I couldn't figure out how to get rid of. Julie figured out how to get rid of it the other day and sent me the how-to, and I was like, check that one off.
Right.
Clear it.
So let's kind of talk through, when I have gone through and done this, I decided... Maybe I did it at a point when I was already frustrated. And so I cut pretty deeply, to use that terminology.
Yeah,
and
deeper
just
than me.
With the same idea, if I don't notice that it's missing, then that's a win, because that's fewer interruptions. If I feel like something's missing, I can always go back and add that notification back in.
Yep.
So... we've been comparing notes on this, and one of the ones where we diverge, which is good for you to hear, because again, this is not a one-size-fits-all.
Right.
I cut so deeply that I decided I did not want text notifications anymore. And so I turned all of those off. The badges, the haptics, the ping. I don't want to know, because the idea is that it was too frequent of interruptions.
It disrupts your day. Like you can't get any momentum in your day.
Right. So now, like, I don't see the red badge if my phone's sitting on my desk. I don't hear the buzz, or whatever. And then when I want to respond, or I'm at a place I finished a task, I can pick up my phone. I still will pick up my phone. I look down, I open that, and then I can just go through and more efficiently respond and engage in some texts at that point. Yep. Now, I will say, there was an evening we went out for dinner. Now at the dinner wait, they... want to text you when your table's ready. And I was like, oh no. So again, I just went into settings. I added that notification back on text. Yep. We got to our dinner table. I forgot to go back in and turn it off. I get into the next day. driving me nuts.
Driving you
it's
nuts.
like, I've got to turn that
You
thing
had
back
experienced
off.
peace.
I had bliss, freedom, right? So anyways, there's different levels again, or this will vary from person to person, but I kind of like your terminology, Neil, on the goal is really to do as many as you think you possibly can, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like your point there of like, you can always, if you cut too deep and realize it, add it back.
Right.
And none of this is permanent, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, for me, I haven't cut that deep yet with the text messages, but maybe there'll be a season where I do. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, again, if you get used to that setting, it may be something you can go in as like the manual moonbeam, just like for this portion of the day, I'm going to go ahead and silence that. Of course, the do not disturb kind of trumps that anyways.
If you didn't hear that one.
Go back to day 2, I think.
I think so.
One other thought on this, because some of you might go like, I don't have this problem. I have enough willpower that I don't have to pick up my phone when I see the red badge or when I hear the haptic. Research has proven actually now that even just that alert, even if it's sitting there, we use pretty much just as much brain power or even more in some instances, not going and looking and solving the mystery of what it is than if we just do. And that's true in a conversation. Even if this phone isn't visible and it's in that back pocket and the haptic comes through, what we may go like, well, it's rude if I reach back and pick up my phone. I mean, let's face it, some of us are so owned by our phones, we don't even realize we're doing that in a conversation. But some of us might have enough sense of like,
I'm just gonna leave
I'm going to leave it, but
there.
your brain is already disengaged from being present with who you're with, and is maybe even using more brain power, more distracted from that conversation. Like, I wonder who that is, and then there's like a follow-up buzz, and then another one, right? And like, okay.
Got to wrap this conversation up. I got to check.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like to just go through the various apps, and you can customize this for each individual.
Just takes a little bit of time. You may feel like you don't have time right now, but make some time today because, again, it pays dividends for a long time. Okay, so we're going to talk about notifications. Again, you're looking for that gear for your settings app. And then you're going to scroll down to notifications right there. And in here, you've got some options. Check them out. And then you can go app by app through. You can see all these apps. Your list may be even longer. Maybe not. Maybe yours is shorter. But all those apps, every one of them, you can customize your notifications. So you'll notice that I've got a lot of them just off completely. Some of them I have options like calendar. I allow even badges from that, but badges is the one I'm the stingiest with. So you look down through, there's not many of them that I allow badges from, and some of them that I do, I'm hoping I never have to use. Like Find My Phone shouldn't have to alert me about anything, I hope. But anyway, let's go into one of these and set it up. Let's say I decide I really need something from my credit card, right? So I'll allow notifications. I can choose if I want to see it on my lock screen or not. That can get cluttered fast. So be picky about what you put on your lock screen. The next thing you can be picky about is notification center. And I believe that's when you pull down from here. I've got all mine cleared out, but that's where they pile up. And this is if you want it to show up there or not. If you let it show up there, then you can always go looking for it by pulling down. Banners is what pops up at the top of your screen when you're in the middle of something, and it distracts you from whatever you're doing and says, hey, come look at this. And so, again, be picky with that. You can choose banner style, whether if you do have a banner, whether it stays there temporarily or whether you want it persistent. That's not something you want to use. Just kidding. Maybe you do. Sounds, badges, these are things, again, weed them out the best you can because those are extra distractions. So turn the sounds off or on here, and same, the badges, again, is those little red things. So let's go back out here and see if I have any. Yep, there's a badge. So if you've got an app in a folder, it puts the total for all those apps in there on a badge on top of the folder. And then I've got some messages I haven't looked at either. So there you go. I've got a message notification. But on the whole, you want to clean those up so that it's a little less distracting and, customize it for you. And like you say, you can always dial it back some if you think you cut too deep later, but cut as deep as you can first.
All right, so I'm really passionate about this one, as you can tell. So hopefully you will take the time to go through this step. Maybe you've already started doing it, and just see. Remember, all this is an experiment, and see if you kind of feel differently.
I bet you will.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again tomorrow for day
5.